So we've been told all these lies about healthcare. Now we've also been told that the government is not going to look into your personal life. The government is not going to do that. And I've been warning you about anything but paper records. Do not go to a doctor that keeps electronic records. Good luck on finding one.
No.
They all keep electronic records, which means they're all in the system. Usually the only ones that can do this are the people who have wealth, because if they're not electronic, they can't file for the insurance. So they have to be electronic unless you pay cash. But I'm only doing that because I'm paranoid. I don't want the government to know everything about me. I don't want everybody to know everything about me. Why would I give the government even more information? Well, now, don't worry. They're never going to pry into your personal life, except there's a fix in the health care bill now coming in one of the new executive orders. One of the new executive orders on gun control is the government needs to know if you have a gun. And the government wants you to know that if you have a gun, and if there is anyone with any kind of psychiatric issue going on, you must get rid of the gun. You must turn it in. Now let's think about this. First of all, how do we describe that? That means anybody with any kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome has to get rid of the gun. Anybody who is in the military that has any kind of paperwork like that, you have to get rid of your gun now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really bright. And let's say that there's a woman who is being stalked or she was raped. You telling me she didn't go to a psychiatrist and wasn't treated for that? Of course she was. She has a gun. She has to turn it in now. If you move somebody in, an aunt who has Alzheimer's, and you move her into the house, you have to get rid of your guns.
Well, she'd have access. You
of course.
Can't have that.
If you have a teenager who is depressed and you treat them with a psychiatrist, you have to get rid of your guns. And if you don't, it will be a felony.
Now, do we specifically know that these are the parameters?
No, these are what we believe the parameters
will be.
These are the proposals as we understand them at this time. This is the word coming out that this is what's in one, or maybe I think two of these executive orders, a fix for the health care law. Now, if your doctor treats you and he knows or didn't ask you about guns in the house, he'll be arrested for a felony or fined. So now your doctor is in trouble. Your doctor now has to spy on you. And if you don't want to get rid of it, let's say you're a hunting family. Let's just say you're not worried about tyranny or anything else, because that's ridiculous. Why would there be any tyranny? It's America. That'll never happen here. I'm just a hunter. And you have a gun, but you grew up in a hunting family. It's part of your lifestyle. You're Ted Nugent. You take away Ted Nugent's gun, it's like taking away Frank Sinatra's voice. That's who he is. Let's say one of his kids goes through a tough time at 15 and is depressed. Is he going to then take his son to go get treated for depression? Because the minute he does, he has to get rid of his guns. When do you get those guns back? What happens then? How many people will stop telling their doctors things that are important? What happens to the Hippocratic Oath? There's no Hippocratic Oath anymore. There's no patient doctor privacy anymore. There's none of that.
Requiring by law that you break the Hippocratic Oath.
You break your silence. This is not good. This is not good for mental health. And this is, quite honestly, this is targeting people. Let me ask you, if you have been institutionalized for a mental health condition, should you own a gun? Pat, you've been institutionalized for mental health. Should you own a gun?
How long ago?
Okay, there's one question.
How badly
long?
was it? What was
Yeah,
the
what was it?
circumstances?
Yeah.
All these
Okay.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Make
What
it-
about institutionalized for alcoholism? That's a mental disorder.
How long ago? Are you over it now?
Are you
Are you
never over?
recovering?
You're never. You're
Are
never
you
cured.
recovering?
You're recovering, but you're never cured.
Like, if it's been, in your case, 15 years or
Mhm.
17 years or whatever it's been.
I'm telling you, I could
obviously
fall
you
off.
can't
I could
own a gun.
fall off the wagon tomorrow. I mean, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that are alcoholics who have fallen off the wagon? I mean, this is the kind of debate. Once you say, yes, okay, if you've been institutionalized for a psychiatric thing, yes, I believe that's already in there. I don't think you can own a gun if you've ever been institutionalized. So now what's the next step from that?
It's an incredibly difficult discussion because how do you define mental illness and which ones? And what kind of,
Well, let's just talk about saving the kids. If you've got kids who are going through some sort of depression and are on Prozac or any kind of drug or anything like that,
can't have guns in
you
the
can't
house.
have guns in the house. You've got a kid who is mentally unstable. And look, I'm just trying to save the kids. All I'm trying to do is make sure that the kids who are unstable right now are going through some tough times. They could come in and grab that gun.
Yeah.
It's for the children.
It's for the children. So let's just talk about it. Let's not talk about you. Let's just talk about the children. And let's talk about having an elderly parent in the house, too, that may have Alzheimer's or some sort of dementia. They could get their hands on a gun and they wouldn't know it. They could start shooting and you'd never know. But let's talk about the children.
It's utterly amazing because, again, if the standard of this is to stop something like Sandy Hook, none of the things that they're talking
Proposing.
about would have stopped it.
No.
The only thing would be, in theory, that you would take guns out of the house when you have relatives with mental illness. And again, I don't even think Lanza was to the point where most people would say he was so mentally. Had he been institutionalized?
No.
I don't know,
that
but
he'd
he
been to
No,
that
he
no,
level.
no.
he was
That's
on
not
some
what they're
kind of
talking about
medication,
now.
and we still don't
That's
know
not what they're
Right.
talking about now. They're talking about if you go to your doctor and you are being treated for any mental health issue. So that's depression.
And that
That's
affects
how many. That
anyone in
means
your
if your
house,
mother,
I understand.
if your wife has just become a mother, your guns most likely will have to go away because of postpartum depression. I mean, everybody in life goes through depression. This is the most over-medicated society in the history of the world. How many of us are on Prozac or not even lithium now? Or I don't even know what the new drugs are, but how many people are on those kinds of drugs?
After listening to you for 3 hours, I'm on a cocktail of all those things.
Maybe
I just
if you
put them in a salad bowl
maybe
and
if you
eat it
just
like a
banned
salad.
Me. Just ban me. Things would get much, much better.
Yeah.
Stop listening.
Yeah.
Don't give them ideas, please.
So, how many people now will have real psychiatric issues that
And not report them.
and not report them?
Yeah.
And when it comes to depression, if you don't catch depression early, you'll keep sliding into the abyss, and that's when it becomes dangerous. If you're afraid to talk about it, and most people are, they think it's just me, or I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to whine about it, I don't want to, whatever it is. If somebody in the household, or if they are afraid to go and talk to their doctor because their doctor will turn them in, listen to what we're saying. The doctor will be required to turn you in. There is no privacy anymore. And I'm telling you right now, the White House will say, that's not happening. You're going to be able to keep your doctor. Your doctor's not going to be spying on you. Bullcrap. Are you going to buy it a second time? If that happens, how many of us will not take our children until it's maybe too late? Will say, I can't have mom living with us. She's crazy. I can't have mom living with us because mom she's lost her marbles. It sure makes euthanasia a lot easier, doesn't it? Let's just have mom, you know what? Mom's led a good life. It makes euthanasia much, much easier. The ramifications of what we are doing and what we're talking about, and no one will actually talk about the moral issues behind all of this. We're talking about these things that are life-changing, culture-changing, things that are profound in their repercussions. Remember, where was it that they just did the assisted suicide for the two twins?
In Belgium, yeah.
In Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
In Belgium. It
41 years old?
Two 41-year-old men.
And not terminally ill and not in pain.
No.
They were deaf and I think
Going
they had
blind.
glaucoma.
Yeah. Okay, so hang on just a second. Let's just go over this. Let's just go over this here for a second. Remember, that is only for extreme cases. That is only if you are in constant pain. That is only in case that you are terminal. You have to be terminal, and then in constant pain.
Yeah,
and we'll
not
take
anymore.
it judge case by case basis. Well, these two guys, they were deaf, and now they were going blind, and the two of them didn't want to be deaf and blind. They thought that would be torturous, so the state killed them. State-assisted suicide. And isn't it amazing, after all that we learned from the experimentation of the 1930s, that the first to be done by the state are twins?
Well, the first of this, I mean, they did it 1,133 times in 2011. Yeah,
of this
right.
kind.
I mean, they are euthanizing a lot of people in Belgium.
A lot of people.
It's creepy.
And it is coming. And you will justify it in your own head because
they didn't want to live like that.
They didn't want to live like that.
That's
they don't want to
choice.
be that way. It's
Really?
costing too much. We're going to lose our guns. We're going to lose our rights. We're going to lose these. We're going to lose that. It will happen. It will happen. But remember, the president will tell you these are all common sense things.
It's common sense solutions.
And your doctor is not going to be spying on you. We just have to, for the children, know if you have a gun in the house. And if somebody is being treated with some psychiatric drug, if somebody is being treated, we just have to know for the safety of the children. And so you'll lose your rights, but you have to do that. You have to do that because you have to treat your child. You have to treat your mom, your dad. You have to treat you because that's dangerous. Oh, please, talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. You can trust your doctor. Oh, yes, you can. It was the doctors that first caused and led the way for the nightmares of the 1930s. All you have to do is just get the doctors in bed with the government and science and godlessness. And a utopia is right around the corner.